I went to work on Wednesday, January 22nd of this year, just like any other day. I was assigned to answer 911 calls the first half of the day, and the second half, I was on a fire dispatch radio that is mainly used for administrative duties, but also takes any larger commands that may come in. Anything from a gas leak to a vehicle rollover, or up to a structure fire, or something even larger scale. Anything that might require more than 4 units, that incident will be assigned to a command channel. The start of the time on that radio went like most others on that position. Units checking out of service to go to various trainings, taking their equipment in for repairs, and phone calls from the firefighters and medics just wanting general info about things. Just after 11 o'clock, I saw the phone start lighting up. Then I saw what no one there wants to see pop in our pending calls. A call for an active aggressor in a school. One of the other fire dispatchers assigned the command channel to me, and I turned on a handheld radio to monitor that channel. When you're on the radio and you see a call like that, you hope that you quickly get an update that it's a false call. Welcome back to Music City 911.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Antioch High School, 1900 Houston Pike Road.
Okay, let me pull that up. Hold on one second. Stay on the phone with me. Okay, 1900 Houston Pike. I have that between Pinhook and Castle Ridge in the Antioch area.
Yes.
Okay. Where in the high school is the problem?
Cafeteria, out of nowhere, they start shooting. Ooh.
Okay, can you verify your phone number for me, please? Okay. Did you say somebody's shooting?
We heard a pop. Don't know exactly if it was a gun, but everybody started running out.
Okay. Hold on one sec. Stay on the phone with me. Don't hang up, okay?
Okay.
Do you know if anyone's hurt?
No, we all ran out.
Okay. What's your first and last name? Okay. Hang on one second for me, okay?
Oh, yeah. This cop's coming.
Okay, you've seen him?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you in a safe place?
Yes, I'm outside.
Okay. Okay. There's a whole lot of police officers on the way, okay? So what I want you to do,
Okay.
I want you to get to a safe place, okay? I don't want you to put yourself in any danger. Don't go back in. Make sure that you silence your phone device for your safety. Yep. Just make sure that when the officers are going to be pulling up really fast, they're not going to know where the problem is. They're going to be rushing in. So just make sure you keep your hands in a safe place, you know, and just try and stay away from the area so they can do their job, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now, if anything changes or gets worse, I want you to give us a call right back, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
One of the worst fears of most dispatchers is to have some sort of active aggressor inside of a school. I say active aggressor because it takes in all the different sorts of violence that can happen on a larger scale. Most people would say active shooter. That's not incorrect, but it's not always the case. An active aggressor can use almost any sort of weapon. If they're actively trying to harm a lot of people, it falls into the category of active aggressor. Someone could be using a knife, a vehicle, or just about any other method to try and accomplish their violent goal. This caller was inside Antioch High School when he heard a pop that he believed was a gunshot. He wasn't sure about injuries or worse. He also didn't have any info as to a suspect if there was one. Luckily, after the sound he believed was a gunshot, he made it safely outside. Antioch is an area of Nashville on the southeast corner of the county. Antioch High School is one of 19 public high schools in Nashville. It's used for grades 9 through 12, so most of the students there will be anywhere from 14 to 18 years old. And the students at that school, there are about 2,100 of them. A shooting in a cafeteria in a school that size, it could be incredibly dangerous and deadly. The calls kept coming in, but most of them were not from inside the school. They were from parents or relatives outside the school who got a call from someone that was inside there at the school.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
It's Antioch High School. My son said they shooting at Antioch High School. I'm on the phone with him right now.
Take a deep breath for me, okay? Take a deep breath for me. Do you know if someone's been shot?
They said they haven't. He's running.
Okay, take a deep breath for me, okay? We already have officers out there. They're investigating. I don't have a lot of information to give you, but they're out there, okay? Take a deep breath, okay?
I'm on the phone with him. I'm on the other phone with him right now.
Okay, so he's not hurt?
Yeah, you hurt, baby. Are you hurt? He's not hurt. He's running.
Okay, hang on. Take a deep breath. The officers are there, okay? So I'm happy he's not hurt. Let's tell him to get to a safe place, okay?
The officers is there, okay?
Okay, take a deep breath for me, okay? He's not hurt, okay? He's not hurt. Okay, what's your first and last name? Okay, are you able to confirm with him that he got to a safe place?
He's outside of school. I'm talking to him on the other phone. He's outside of school.
Okay. Hold on 1 second for me. I'm adding your information in here, okay? Okay, I want you to take a deep breath for me, okay? We do have officers on scene investigating. Tell your son to get to a safe place. Stay away from the scene, okay?
Get to the safe place. The police is on the way. They're on the way.
Okay. They're there, okay? You did a good job, okay? I'm going to let you go so I can answer the other calls that are coming in. If anything changes, I need you to call me right back. If you get more information, call me back, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
As you can imagine, if you get a call from your child while at school saying someone is shooting, you're going to probably go into a panic mode like this caller. It's very understandable. I always try to tell people to remain as calm as they can so you can get the necessary info as quick as possible. But even with good calming techniques, it's hard to snap people out of that kind of panic. With this caller, the info was able to be obtained pretty easily despite the circumstances. She got a call from her son saying someone was shooting inside the school. Luckily, her son was also not harmed. Calls continued to flow in, and their content was widely varied. Antioch is an area of Nashville that has a high Hispanic population. A lot of the children in the area can speak English, but most of the parents aren't able to, and when we get calls like that, an interpreter is used. I've played calls like the next couple on the show a few times before. It's a slow and sometimes tedious process, but it's one that's very necessary to get people that can't speak English the help they need.
Metro Nashville 911, what's the emergency?
6, please.
Hello?
6, Spanish.
Un momento.
Please select the language you need. You selected Spanish. You will be connected to the next available interpreter. So that your interpreter may better assist you, please speak in short, clear statements.
Hello, my name is Sandra, and I'll be your Spanish interpreter 404-997. I will interpret everything you say and keep it confidential. How may I help you?
Yes, ma'am. This is John with Metro Nashville, Tennessee 911. I've got a lady calling on 911 requesting Spanish. Can you ask her what's the address for emergency, please?
Señora, ¿cuál es la dirección de su emergencia, por favor?
La escuela Antioch.
¿Escuela Antioch?
Sí. Mi hija me llamó que están tirando balazos.
There's a school. My daughter called me from her school. She says that she heard shots.
Okay, ma'am, ask her which school. What school?
A school Antioch?
High school. Antioch High School.
Sí, señora, deletréame la escuela.
Interpreter, I think I understood her in English. Antioch High School, can you verify? Antioch High School.
Antioch High School, señora?
Sí.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the phone number she's calling from?
¿Cuál es el número donde ella le llamó?
de mi hija.
Sí, señora, el número de su hija.
Ok, permítame tantito.
Allow me one moment, please.
No, not her daughter's phone number, her phone number that she's calling from.
Señora, el número suyo, señora, el número suyo, perdón.
Okay, and the lady we're speaking to, her name?
Señora, ¿cuál es su nombre?
Spell the first name, please. Okay, and her last name?
Lázaro. Señora, Lázaro es L de limón, A de Ana, Z de zapato, A de Ana, R de rosa, O de Oscar, Lázaro.
Sí.
Okay. Tell me exactly what happened. Her daughter called her. Go ahead.
Dígame exactamente qué pasó cuando su hija le llamó.
Oh, pues nomás me dijo, mami, ven por mí porque están tirando balazos. Y ella dijo que estaba corriendo afuera.
Okay, un momento, por favor. She told me, Mom, come get me because I'm hearing shots, and she was running outside.
Where'd she hear the shots at?
¿En dónde escuchó ella los balazos?
En la escuela.
¿Adentro de la escuela o afuera de la escuela?
No me alcanzó a decir porque ella está llorando y no sé, yo ya voy por ella, pero no sé dónde está.
Okay, señora, un momento, por favor. In the school, I don't know if it was inside or outside because she didn't tell me. She was crying and I'm going to go get her.
Okay, we've got multiple calls on shots fired at Antioch High School. Hold on just one moment. I'm trying to look at the call right now.
Un momento, por favor. Hemos tenido múltiples llamadas de esa escuela sobre balazos. Denme un momento, por favor.
Ay, pues que se apuren, señorita.
So the police have got...
Hurry up, please.
Hold on just one. The police are already on the scene. There's more officers on the way. Okay, the police are already
La policía ya está en la escena y van más policías en camino.
Okay, gracias.
There's already some police officers there, but there's more on the way. We don't know what else is going on. The police are there right now at this moment. They're trying to check the scene, see what they can find. Okay?
Sí, señora. Ahorita están viendo la escena para ver.
If she's going there, please tell her to not enter the area until police make sure that everything's secure and everything. Because we don't want her coming in there.
Sí, señora.
If the person who's shooting is loose, we don't want her getting shot either.
Señora, por favor, si usted va allí, por favor no se acerque. Los oficiales están agarrando más información. Tiene que esperar hasta que los oficiales le den permiso para usted entrar, porque si la persona que anda disparando está suelta, no queremos que la dispare a otras personas más.
Pues es que voy a buscar a mi hija me llamó que está corriendo.
Señora, escúcheme. Usted no le va a servir a su hija si usted se pone en peligro. Tiene que hacer y escuchar lo que los oficiales le dicen. Si el oficial no le dice que está seguro, usted no puede entrar ahí.
Okay, está bien.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, the police are there. There's more on the way, but they've got to secure the scene, make sure everybody's out and everything, to make sure it's a big school.
La policía ya está allí y hay más policía que viene en camino para asegurar que todo esté seguro antes.
Okay, gracias.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your help, ma'am.
Thank you for using our service. Interpreter 404-997 disconnect.
There was a disconnect.
The next call is another that requires a Spanish interpreter, but there's a further problem with the call, as you'll hear.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
Yes, por favor, mi hija, my daughter called in high school Overton, es personas disparando.
Wait,
en high school
Spanish?
Overton. Spanish, por favor.
Spanish? Okay, 1 second.
Please select the language you need. For Spanish, you selected Spanish. You will be connected to the next available interpreter. So that your interpreter may better assist you, please speak in short, clear statements.
Hello, my name is Henry. Interpreter ID 702. 343. I will interpret everything you're saying. Keep it confidential. How may I help you?
911, what's the location of your emergency?
911, ¿cuál es la ubicación de su emergencia? 911, ¿cuál es la ubicación de su emergencia?
Okay, I think she might have disconnected. Are you able to do a callback?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Please allow me a moment. The phone is dialing.
All right, thank you.
¿Aló?
Hello, this is
¿Aló?
911, what's the
Este es
location of your
911.
emergency?
¿Cuál es su emergencia?
Mira, lo que pasa es que mi hija me llamó de la escuela, de la high school, de la Overton. Están disparando. Adentro en la high school.
Un momento, por
En la
favor.
Overton.
My daughter called me from high school. Un momento, señora, por favor. Ya la escuchamos. Un momento. My daughter called me. She's in Overton High School, and she said that they are shooting on the high school, inside of the high school.
Right. You're saying at Overton High School?
Sí, yes.
Right. I'm showing
Yes.
at Overton High School at 4820 Franklin Pike in the Oak Hill area off of Lambert Drive and Robertson Academy Road. Is that correct?
Ay, Dios
Y
mío,
la
no me
Overton
queda
High School
atención.
está... Sí, ahorita
No,
estamos en
no,
la ciudad, pero-
discúlpame, no es la Overton, no es la Overton. Es la Ben, ¿no? Es la Ben, disculpa, es la Ben. Es la Ben.
It's the Ben High School.
Right. Is it Overton High School or Antioch?
Enya.
Antioch High School?
Sí.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. I have Antioch High School, 1900 Hobson Pike, Antioch off of Pinhook Road and Castle Ridge Drive. What exactly did your daughter tell you?
I'm sorry, sir. Do you want me to? ¿Qué exactamente su hija le dijo?
Mi hija me llamó y me dijo que estaban disparando en la high school y que lo sacaron a la cancha y ya no me contesta más el teléfono.
She called me and she told me that they are shooting on the high school and they bring them back to the school, but she's just not responding anymore.
Mira. Ay, ¿qué le pasó?
Right, we do have all the call sent up and them on the way. What's the phone number you're calling from, ma'am?
Estarán asustados.
Ya tenemos todas las personas de camino. ¿Cuál es el número de teléfono del cual está usted llamando? And I'm already on the school and there's a lot of children in the street.
Right.
¿Dónde sacaron la
And what's your first and last name?
¿Cuál es su primer nombre y apellido?
Ay, Dios mío, perdomo.
Right, we have them on the way to 1900 Hudson Pike at the Antioch High School off of Pinhook Road in Castle Ridge. If anything changes, give us a call back, okay?
Muy bien, ya tenemos la ayuda de camino. Si algo cambia, devuélvanos la llamada. ¿De acuerdo?
Subí ese vídeo.
Right, thank you, interpreter.
You're welcome.
There were two big problems with this call. The initial one was that the phone disconnected. I'm not sure if that was a drop call or if the caller hung up, but whatever the reason was, she had to be called back. That takes time. Depending on the situation that's happening, any situation, that time can be crucial. The second problem, which was an even bigger one, the caller initially said the school was Overton High School, not Antioch High School. I've said it on the show many, many times. Know the location that you're at. If it's somewhere you frequent, like home or work, know the full address. If it's not somewhere you're always at least know the name of the place and the street it's on. This will aid in getting help started much faster. And more broadly, if you have a relative in school, know what school they're at. The last call I'll play for this incident before getting into the details about it, it came in well after the initial calls were fielded.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi. I've been hearing reports, an incident on Antioch High School about some shooting. I see a lot of students outside.
Yes, sir. There are quite a few officers. There is a big police response going on out there right now. Are you involved? Are you on scene at Antioch High School, or are you just calling because you've heard about what's going on?
I'm calling because I heard about it. I see a lot of these students outside.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Some of them are really stressed, and I saw one guy running. It's like he's out of fear.
I understand, sir. We have quite a few officers on scene out there. Do you see officers where you're seeing students?
No, I left the area.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and let you go, but we do have officers on scene out there right now with the students, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I'm not sure how the caller found out that there was an incident at the high school, but it was likely on Facebook or some sort of other social media. If you're seeing something like that, calling the police while the scene is still possibly active, we likely won't relay any info as to what's going on. If we release anything, it will be very brief and possibly less than you already read. As I said in the intro, I was assigned to the fire radio that ended up having the command for the incident. After seeing the code for an active aggressor, a pre-assigned amount of units were dispatched for the fire department and EMS response. It is a lot of units. The first responders, you get 3, an engine, a truck, and a heavy rescue. In Nashville, along with most other larger cities, the firefighters on board those units are all medically trained. If they get to the scene first, they can immediately start rendering medical aid while the ambulances are still on the way. Past that, 5 ambulances are dispatched. If it's a smaller scale incident, some can be canceled. If it's determined there is a requirement for more are immediately added. And finally, there are EMS and fire suppression chiefs and safety officers that are dispatched to keep control of the scene. In total, 15 units get dispatched initially. But other units that are close by hear something like that on the radio go out, and they also check en route. My job was to keep up with all of them, document any relevant information, and get them whatever they need, whether that's additional units, guiding units en route to the correct locations, etc. On the police side, it's pretty simple. All available units are to start on the way to the scene and will remain on the way until there is no more threat. Overall, it's an immense undertaking for any department. Dozens, if not hundreds of units from the police and fire departments will respond. Once they get there, the assignment is direct. Stop the killing, stop the dying. Stop the killing is simple. Neutralize the aggressor or aggressors. Stop that person from the killing or attempted killing of any other people. Then you shift to stop the dying, which is rendering medical aid to those who need it. The high schools, as well as now most every school in Nashville, is assigned 1 or more police officers to be inside the school during school hours. Almost as soon as the initial call came in, the school resource officers there in Antioch High School, they were on the scene of what happened. By then, the threat was already down. Just as in previous episodes involving an active aggressor, I'll not be using this aggressor's name. A 17-year-old student at Antioch High School went to the school with the intention of being an active shooter. This is still a very active and ongoing investigation that likely will be months, if not longer, before a full completed report is available, so details are still sparse. The student was taken to school by his mother, not on a school bus. Just before lunch, he entered a restroom and posted photos on social media. He then exited the restroom armed with a 9mm pistol and opened fire. In total, he fired 10 rounds from the pistol, killing one other student, which was a 16-year-old girl, grazing another student's arm with a bullet, and then he turned the gun on himself. He and the 16-year-old girl were the only ones that were killed. The other injuries, the student with a graze wound on her arm, she was transported to a local hospital and treated, then released. One other student had a facial injury that happened when they were running from the shooting and fell down, hitting their head. As I said, the investigation is ongoing, but some things are known about what led the shooter to what he was planning on doing. 2 documents have been found. One, a 288-page diary of sorts, and the other, a 51-page pseudo-manifesto. I have a copy of that one, and it's horrible in so many ways. Usually when I see something like this, I question its authenticity. I did with this one as well, but there are a lot of items in this document that lead me and local news organizations who have spoke on this to believe it is legitimate. There's at least one picture of the shooter in the document, a picture of the gun that was used, and a layout of the high school where the attack happened. Further in the document, it reads like someone who was very, very disturbed. It's filled with sexually and racially motivated hate. Racial slurs and homophobic material is frequent throughout the document. It also talks about his online research into other school shooters and talks about targeting other schools too, one of which is a local elementary school. I haven't seen the diary, but if it's anything like the document I've seen, it's a deep look into the mind of a very disturbed person. It's also recently been discovered that the same suspect was suspended from school from threatening another student with a box cutter. That occurred last year. It's also believed that the shooter wanted and planned on killing at least 10 people. I have some information that I wanted to pass along regarding various aspects of this. The first thing I want to address is something I heard talked about from calls I wasn't able to obtain. During the police response, I've heard people were calling to the point of being irate that officers were driving so fast and cutting off traffic. I've personally heard things like this before on the phone. People calling saying that no emergency would merit an officer driving like they are. This couldn't be further from the truth. I'm sure, absolutely sure, that every officer, firefighter, paramedic, whoever, I'm sure they were all trying to bust their ass to get there as fast as they could, and for good reason. The advice on this, if you see blue or red lights and hear a siren, just move over and let them pass. In most, if not all states, it's the law. They're on the way to a life-threatening or potentially life-threatening emergency. They need to get there. Let them do so. The next things are things that if you have a child in school, they should be talked about. All the adults listening, which I believe almost all of you are, have these conversations with your kids or even adult relatives, and take them to heart yourself in case you're ever in a situation. The first thing, have whoever is on the scene call 911 themselves. Don't call a family member or a friend until it's over. The calls from inside the school on this one were limited. I believe we received way more calls from parents or family members about the incident than the people that were actual witnesses to the crime. Calling a family member to ask them to call police or an ambulance, this causes a huge delay and also limits the amount of good information that can be passed along. Having the child or whoever is there on the scene call 911 directly because this could literally save lives and possibly help identify the shooter if it's still ongoing. And some tips if you're involved in any type of active aggressor situation. I've mentioned before that someone who is in any situation with an active aggressor, my preferred method for someone who is directly on the scene is run, hide, fight. To break those down for you, run if you're able to do so safely. Get as far away as you need to be safe. You can alert others of the situation as you're leaving, but don't let anyone else slow you down. The utmost important thing in the scenario is you. Get yourself out of the area. Hide if you're not able to run. If the shooter is close by and you don't feel safe leaving the area, do anything you can to try and prevent yourself from being noticed. Close and lock the door, turn the lights off, hide behind or under a desk, in a closet, in a bathroom, wherever you can so you can't easily be spotted or found. At least find a place for concealment, but if you can, find a place for some cover. The difference in the two, concealment is simply a place that is out of sight. Cover is a place that is out of sight and can prevent being shot by stopping the bullet. Past that, another key aspect of hiding, silence everything. Don't talk, don't move around, don't make any noise, and put your phone on silent in your pocket. You don't want to alert the aggressor of where you are by any means, so remain motionless and remain quiet. And lastly, fight. This is the last resort. This should only be used if there is no other option. The shooter or aggressor has or will be able to see you, and there's no possible way to hide or escape. So as an example, if you're in an office building or a school and you hear shooting going on directly outside where you are, or the shooter is coming towards you, fight like you've never fought before. It's literally a life and death struggle. The biggest part of this is trying to control the weapon. If an aggressor can't use the weapon, they can't use it to kill you. Focus on that weapon if you're able to. Grab the gun, grab the knife, grab whatever they're using, and try to hold it away from you and away from others if possible. And if you're not able to do that, use any means possible to fight back with him. Find your own weapon, anything that can be used to fight off the attack. Give me nearly any location, and I can probably name a dozen or more items that can be used as a makeshift weapon there. If you're in an office building, a heavy metal stapler, a pen or a pencil, a letter opener, etc. If I'm in a grocery store, canned foods, smaller display racks. In a school, a chair, the same stapler mentioned before, the same pens and pencils. You get the idea. Anything you have at hand, use it. And fight dirty. Fight any way you can, because your life likely will depend on it. These are horrible things to be talking about with anyone, but these are items that might have to be used anywhere, not just here in America. Any country in the world can have an active aggressor. Take all the things I've mentioned and keep them with you at all times. Remember them. Tell them to friends and loved ones. And if any of you want further information on this, I can either point you in the right direction of some good materials online or try and help explain further myself. That'll do it for this one. If you want that further info, you know where to find me. On any of the social media I have listed in the show notes. I'm most active on Patreon and the Facebook Music City 911 discussion group. You can also get me by direct messaging me or sending me an email at musiccity911@gmail.com. There's also a spot on musiccity911.com to send a message. Until next time, for Music City 911, I'm Brandon, and y'all have a good one.